Good afternoon, and welcome to a wonderful program that we bring you every week right here off the Global Pain Association Facebook page. It's the virtual chronic pain education series. And we are delighted to come to you every Saturday at noon through the month of August. We will be here bringing you all of the latest on pain and chronic pain and ways in which you can address that issue. And today we have a very special program. We're going to be talking with retired Air Force Senior Master Sergeant and wounded warrior Israel Del Toro, an incredible story that he will share with us. I'm Ron Aaron, happy to host this program and happy to remind you that this week's sponsor is the Scholar Group. 25 years of experience in real estate, the Scholar Group is a dedicated team of real estate entrepreneurs passionate about helping others achieve their home ownership goals. You can visit their website, www.afascholar.com, and you can contact them that way. And to the Scholar Group and our other underwriters and sponsors, we thank you very much. You make the virtual chronic pain education series possible right here on the Global Pain Association Facebook page. And speaking of GPA, let's welcome Dr. Susan Blackwood, who is the founder and the driving force behind the Global Pain Association, who has demonstrated she is an IT specialist, was able to get on board at the last minute, overcame technical difficulties. We're very impressed, Susan. I'm glad you're here.
And if you believe that, Ron, or any of the rest of our audience does, we're going to have them all committed. But thank you.
You are here.
Thank you so much for hosting this and being our moderator. You've done a great job, and we can't be thankful enough to the Eisenberg Group for making this all possible for this summer and into the next August weeks. And we want to thank the Scholar Group for being the sole sponsor of today's event. They have a real connection with our special guest, and I'm sure he's going to be able to give them a little help with what they've done to support him. So thank you again, and we hope that people, if they've got other ideas about topics, they can go to info@global.org and send those to us. They can also go there, that's our website, and see how they can get involved by making a donation. And every little donation helps to keep the series going, so we appreciate everybody's help.
Well, Susan, thank you very much. We appreciate all your work. And we're going to turn now to our very special guest, going to introduce Air Force Master Sergeant retired, Senior Master Sergeant retired, Israel Del Toro. By every single measure, he shouldn't be here. He should be dead. The doctors thought that. The nurses thought that. After he had a horrific Humvee crash while in Afghanistan in 2005, a bomb really blew his life apart. Israel lost most of his fingers, was burned over the majority of his body. He was in a coma for 3 months, and when he came out of the coma, Del Toro was told he'd never walk or breathe on his own again. They were wrong. He became the first 100% combat disabled Air Force technician to re-enlist in the service. He competed in the Invictus Games, an event for wounded service members. In 2014, he won a silver medal for powerlifting. In 2016, he won a gold medal in the shot put. And in 2017, Del Toro won the Pat Tillman Award. It was established in 2014 to honor the former NFL player and U.S. Army Ranger who died in combat in 2004. And it is indeed a very special opportunity for us to welcome Israel Del Toro. Israel, thanks for joining us on the Global Pain Association Chronic Pain Program.
Thank you, Ron. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for the little intro you gave me.
I like what you said.
I don't know what I'm going to talk about.
Well, my wife was saying to me that in your ESPY award presentation, you mentioned that they were honoring you for a very bad day at work.
It's true, and it's funny. That was just spontaneous. That wasn't even in the script when I said that.
Well, tell us a little bit about where you grew up.
Well, I grew up on south side of Chicago, one of the suburbs called Joliet. I grew up there, I had a typical childhood, mom, dad. Dad worked at a paper mill, and mom was she was a stylist, and the oldest of four. It was boy, girl, And but then things started to change. When I hit 12, I lost my dad that year, and then a year and a half later, I ended up losing my mom. Uh, and what helped me keep going was just my dad, because I was the last one to speak to him before he passed away. And at the time, I thought it was weird. I was like, why is he saying this to me? But he's like, promise you always take care of your family. And just that motto or that promise that he had me say kept me going and, kept me moving.
And there you are with your wife and your boy.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy seeing, my son that age, he's there. I think might have just turned one or a little over one. And now he's about to leave for college
Wow.
in a couple weeks.
Something you never thought you'd see after that horrific explosion.
No, well, when I got hurt on December 4th, 2005, I had, they gave me a 15% chance to live, 80% of my body had third-degree burns. Was never supposed to walk again, be on a rest for the rest of my life. And, my military career was pretty much over. And yeah, I had a grim diagnosis, 15% chance to survive this. But again, I wasn't going to accept that. When I finally woke from my coma after 4 months, of course, the doctors told me all that, and they're pretty much waiting what I was going to say, and I really can't say what I want to say, but it's pretty much it has some colorful words like I'm not accepting that.
Huh.
I never accepted what people said my life was supposed to be. According to the experts, a kid from the south side of Chicago with no parents has two options: either be a gangbanger or a drug dealer, and I was neither. I excelled in sports. I was an athlete. I got a full ride to University of Illinois. So I didn't accept that. So why am I going to accept you know them telling me this is going to be my life? So I fought every day. I fought, and another reason I fought so hard was again that promise to my dad: take care of your family. And of course, that has evolved. It evolved first to my brothers and sisters, and now, being married and having a child, it evolved taking care of my wife and my son. And if I accepted what those doctors told me, you know, what was I showing my son? To give up so easily? I was never gonna be that kid or that guy sitting on the couch, staring out the window, hating life, saying, why did this happen to me? No. I'm not teaching my son anything. I'm not honoring my dad's promise. So I fought. I was going to show him: stay positive, believe in yourself, and you'll beat this. And of course, you're going to have bad days. Uh, but luckily, I had family there, friends, teammates, huge support from the doctors to the nurses there at Brook Army Medical Center.
They brought you here to San Antonio for treatment. I want to see if we lost our. There you are.
I went from a 200-pound muscle head to 115 pounds, as you can see in that photo. I'm 115 pounds there.
Wow.
You know, uh, that could barely move. And so, yeah, you're going to have bad days, but you just can't let that overcome you. You can't let that darkness. And I fought. And eventually, 2 months after they gave me that grim diagnosis about, never walking again and being on a rest for the rest of my life. I left that hospital walking and breathing my own. And as you can see in this photo also, that's pretty much a week after I left the hospital when they presented me my Purple Heart there by the Chief of Staff of the Air Force, General Mosley at that time. So, I beat those odds. Because again, I didn't do it on my own. I had friends and family, and, you know, listening to those words of my dad, that I was going to beat this.
How tough was it now that you look back? And of course, this being the Chronic Pain Association's educational program, the pain had to be almost insurmountable.
Well, yeah, the pain
Burn
was,
victim.
you know, for people that don't know a lot about how what burn people go through, or burn patients go through, or burn survivors. When you're burned, your skin becomes so hypersensitive. I mean, you could have rubbed a feather across my hand, and it felt like you were cutting me with razor blades. But I had to go through all that. I had to desensitize my skin so I can function, in the outside world, or to at least hold my son. So, that pain was intense. And yeah, I was on some heavy drugs, out from fentanyl pops to Dilaudid to Percocet. Uh, what's the little the drip? I keep forgetting the
Morphine.
yeah, morphine. But I knew they were powerful, and I did not want to get addicted to them. So, I had to go, I guess, through those, you can say, trials of pain, where got me to therapy, have me rub my hands, my body against carpet, against coffee beans. I had to go through it. And don't get me wrong, there were some intense pain, and there's sometimes I was like, you guys really got to give me something, because I just can't take it. But what really helped me was, once I was able to kind of get past that first little hurdle, I was able to start being more independent, started, getting out, going outside, starting almost feeling like myself. And luckily, there at the hospital there in San Antonio, at Brook Arm Medical Center, they introduce you to, like, sports, to activities. And a lot of that started to help me a lot also, to get through that pain. Now, am I going to say that I'm pain free? No, I still have pain. Every single day when I wake up, I have pain. But I know the first hurdle for me to get through it is get out of bed, get going, brush your teeth, put your clothes on, you know, get something to eat real quick, and go to the gym. And that's what I do. And I saw one of those previous photos of me throwing a shot put. That was one of the things that really helped me a lot. Yeah.
And you
You
won the
know,
gold medal at the Invictus Games.
I did that one. Was the Invictus Games, back in 2016, here, when I was here in the U.S. And it was a great feeling seeing, you know my family, because a lot of times my family didn't get to see me compete. But this time, they were there, and then having a lot of friends and family there, it was just an amazing feeling. Then seeing me win gold. That photo makes me giggle. People are probably wondering why that makes me giggle. But if you don't know the backstory, so I was asked to uh, do a speech at the opening ceremonies, and the speech was going great. And NFQ, and it stands for Never Effing Quit, but not the
Ah,
effing, but the more
right.
colorful word.
Ah,
And during practices, you obviously practice, you'll have rehearsals. And every time when I got to that point, I hesitated,
ah,
and Prince Harry would be in the stands watching the rehearsals. And he's like, DT, why do you, like, hesitate? Like, you wanted to say something. And I told him what I wanted to say. And he's like, all right. It was like, go for it, dude. It's like, it'll be great. So I did it. I ended up, I did my whole speech, and I ended up with, with my sayings of, stay strong, finish strong, and never effing quit. And of course, the crowd just went wild. There's certain times to use colorful words, and I thought that was an appropriate time to use it. But I had no idea that my friend President Bush is going to come up behind me. And I look back, I'm like, oh crap, I just swore in front of the president. So, of course he teased me about it. And, and he's a good friend, good supporter, likes busting my chops a lot. He really does, especially when I left Texas to uh, be out here in Colorado when the military moved me. He's like, DT, why'd you leave God's country? I'm like, well, sir, I'm still active unless you want to pull some strings. I have to go where the military sends me. But, again, having that support, like him when the president would come to the hospital with no, he wanted no reporters, just him, and just be there with the guys. It helped a lot, meant a lot. It helps a lot of the guys and gals going through that pain. And again, we're going through some of the worst pain imaginable, but just having someone that is there and cares really helps that. It really truly does.
Now you got tight with the prince, right?
I did, Prince Harry, obviously the Invictus Games was his idea, he's a military guy too, he did 2 tours and I have met him, when the Warrior Games was held here, that they will send like a British a team to compete, and he will come, and we got to become friends because he actually did his first tour. He did the exact same job I did in the military, called in airstrikes, and so we became friends, and then we did an exhibition sitting volleyball game, and I got to spike on him. How many people get to say they got to spike on a prince? And of course, we just stayed friends. And of course, during that ceremony or those games in Orlando, I also got to win $20 off the prince. So, not too many people can say they won $20 and spike on a prince.
The thing I hear from you, and we talked off the air, is that he's genuine. Prince Harry's genuine.
He is. He's a very genuine guy. You could say he's the younger version of like President Bush. Uh, he just wants to be with the guys. Again, he was a service member. He just wanted to be around all the service members. He didn't want, you know, when like someone like a service member from another country or anyone wanted to come near him, you know, it was like nothing. He had told his like security like, leave me alone. These are my guys and gals. And it's like, and I'm gonna be with them. And he was very genuine. Another guy that liked to talk smack to me. Again, I got the upper hand on him. I won $20 from him. So.
Ah, now I know that the Pat Tillman Award, which was presented to you, had special meaning for you. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Pat, he was a special operator, and so am I. And to have me winning his award really meant a lot because before that, the other recipients of it, well, yes, they were military, but they weren't special op guys. So to be that first special op guy to receive it really meant a lot. And for me, I knew who Pat Tillman was. I knew that his story. I knew when he gave up. He was like the athletes of old,
Got
a
a slight
million dollar
technical glitch.
career. What was that?
No, there's a technical glitch, but you're fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you know, giving up $1 million career to go serve his country was amazing, and to be part of that, to be a recipient of that, meant not so much to me.
And then you and John Stewart.
And yeah, and John, I've known John for God now, I would say 12, 13 years.
Hmm.
Uh, I met him at a USO event, and he tells the stories. He even tells a story on that one when he was presenting me the award, uh, where I was just nervous. It was in D.C. It was a gala for the USO, and they wanted me to speak, and this was one of the first times I was really going to speak, and in front of World War II vets. Imagine, I have World War II vets, the greatest generation of our country. They're all sitting there, freaking Medal of Honor winners to highly decorated guys. And I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? And, I went up there and did my speech. I was so relieved, the crowd loved it, And John's like, you okay? He's like, and I was like, dude, just give me a beer. And, I just needed to relax. And we just stayed friends and forever. And, he's a good friend. He loves his military, supports him a lot. And, does he like busting my chops sometimes? Yeah, because yes, I may be a little bit more conservative than him and he likes to bust my chops about it. But, it's all in good fun. We have each other's back and, I couldn't ask for a better friend.
I think it's fair to say you become an inspiration for so many people across this country, whether they have been wounded warriors, whether they're people struggling with chronic pain, whether they're people who wake up every day like you do who are hurting. Your message to them has been don't give up, keep on going. Talk to us about that, and how did you arrive at that?
Again, it for me, it all started way back in 1988 when my dad passed. Uh, Take care of your family. And again, that has evolved from my brothers and sisters to my wife, my son, to now anyone out there that needs help, that needs that support, that needs that extra, you can say, they're my family. And so if I can kind of tell them what I went through, how I didn't give up, that I didn't accept what people said my life was going to be, if I'm able to help just one believe in that message, all that pain, all that suffering I went through my entire life, all those obstacles, all those challenges was worth it because I was able to help someone get over that bad day, to get over that day of pain where they feels like this ain't gonna end. And I could tell them, it's like, yes, it will, because I've been there. Trust me, I know. I know those dark days. I know those, especially when you're in the hospital and you're by yourself at night. I know how it sucks. But then having those amazing nurses, like I did, be there at night to help you, it makes it so much more better. So never quit. Or NFQ, is one of my mottos. Like just like stay strong, finish on, because we can do this. No one thought after I got hit I was going to survive, and no one thought I was going to continue serving. And as you see, I served for 22 years. I got hurt December 2005. I retired last year. And to able to make those ranks and see my friends there, my teammates, all the people that supported me, and of course, some that weren't there, like Mr. Beckett, that was part of me going through my recovery. Of course, he ended up passing away from cancer. But knowing all those people were there in spirit was so worth it because again, I was gonna stay strong because I was gonna finish strong because I was never gonna effing quit. Because again, I was gonna honor my dad. I was gonna stay, take care of my family. And my family is anyone out there that needs it, anyone out there that needs that little person watching their six to get over that pain. Because again, I'll be there for that.
Say a few words about your wife because not only was your life turned upside down, hers was as well. And it's pretty clear from the photos and the things you've said about her. She is an angel here on earth.
She is, would I have thought again, would I have ever thought my wife would be this person that she is now? No. My wife was, she was a buckle five, maybe, wet, you know, was terrified of blood. And for her to do what she had to do when I got hit, to take my son to daycare every day and go to the hospital and be there with me. And sometimes a lot of people focus on the patient and, the person going through, that's in the hospital going through the pain. And they sometimes forget that our loved ones, like my wife, see us at our worst. They truly do, especially the ones that are in a coma, like myself, where the doctors are giving you a grim diagnosis. They're the ones seeing you at your worst. They're the ones having to sometimes make those decisions like, hey, we got to amputate. If not, he may get an infection and die. Or, hey, we got to do this. So her to be able to do what she did, make those decisions. And don't get me wrong, she told me one time that after, all day at the hospital and then picking up my son and feeding him and putting him to sleep, she will go to the bathtub, into the bathroom, lay in the bathtub and just cry to let loose and to see her again take care of me. Because at the time, I was a baby, just a grown man baby. She had to do everything for me. To see what she's done now, to getting her, because she's from Mexico, getting her GED, learning English, learning how to drive, uh, graduating from her Cosmo because she had to get more hours here because she wanted to continue studying because that's what she did in Mexico. But here in the States, she knew to be able to do all that and not only deal with me, and my son is just amazing. And I couldn't have asked for anyone better. And I was a lucky man to have her because I saw a lot of loved ones of other people that didn't stick around, and mine did.
Unfortunately, we're about out of time. We could do this for another 8 hours. Although you'd be pretty tired, I'm sure, and so would I. What haven't we asked you that you might share with our audience, especially those struggling with chronic pain and their families?
I would say, especially with your families, talk to them, because sometimes they need to talk to, they need a release, you can say. Be understanding, because especially us that go through pain, sometimes we're not the nicest, especially when we're going through our pain. We're just irritable. So we sometimes got to kind of slow our roll. You can say it's like, hold on, they've been there for me. I gotta relax, and just stay positive. And again, our mind is a very powerful thing, and if we believe we're going to overcome it, we will. So I would just tell people to believe that and take care of each other because we need each other. We really do. No one can do this on their own.
We have a number of people who are watching who are commenting. First of all, thanking you for your service, as we all do. You gave an enormous amount for this country, and you continue to share with those who are struggling to come back from similar kinds of injuries, and I thank you for that. And I hope we can talk again in a few months and see how things are going.
Yeah, sounds great, Ron. It was a pleasure. I enjoyed it. Hopefully, I was able to help and help someone get over their pain if they feel like they can't. And hopefully, I was able to do that for them, at least
Well,
for a bit.
it's an amazing story, and hard to believe your boy's on his way to college.
I know, I can't believe that. I do tease him like that. It's like, buddy, don't leave me. Don't leave me with your mom. And of course, his mom just gives me a look.
I'll bet. Well, you take care. Thank you
You
very
too,
much.
Ron.
Israel Del
Take care.
Toro, an amazing story, and we are so thankful that he could join us today. Our sponsor for this program, the Scholar Group, 25 years of experience in real estate. The Scholar Group is a dedicated team of real estate entrepreneurs passionate about helping others achieve their homeownership goals. Visit their website at www.afascholar.com and you can contact them. And we want to welcome Dr. Susan Blackwood back to our microphones here, president of the Global Pain Association. It was, I think, her idea to see if we could line up Israel Del Toro to talk with us today. And you hit it out of the park, Susan. An amazing guy, an amazing story.
Well, thank you, Ron. I didn't bring a whole box of Kleenex to my office, which I really needed today, but actually, I can't take credit for having Israel. The Scholar Group manages his property here in San Antonio, and they do an amazing job. And they've had a relationship with him for many years. And they're the ones responsible. We were hoping to have him live at a seminar that we were going to have in May.
Right.
And that didn't happen because of our friends at the virus group, we were able to talk to him and scheduling something around their vacation and taking his son to college. But want to thank you again for moderating this. He and his wonderful presentation. And people want to get involved, they can get on our website. No donation is too small. We want to keep this series going, and people like the Scholar Group have made that possible.
Susan Blackwood, thank you. info@globalpain.org. Susan, coming up next week, right here on the Global Pain seminar program here on Saturdays at noon, pet therapy and medical equipment that helps people in pain. Our guest next Saturday, guest presenters Rod Juppy and Maurice Hawkins, and we will have a pet therapist on, maybe a pet or two, we'll see, and some equipment and devices that can make life for those struggling with chronic pain a little bit easier. Thank you all. We're here every Saturday at noon. I'm Ron Aaron Eisenberg. I thank you for joining us for today's presentation. You have a great weekend, everybody, and a special thank you to Israel Toro. Incredible story.